Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Legacy Earthquake REGIROCK in the Open Ultra League. Earthquake replacing Focus Blast on REGIROCK worsens our coverage versus Dark types and does less damage versus Steel types, but gives REGIROCK new coverage versus Poison types like Nidoqueen. The team I'm running is Venusaur, Melmetal, and REGIROCK, so I'm triple weak to Escavalier, but it covers the rest of the meta quite well. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches, check out Earthquake REGIROCK in action to see if it's worth using in the Open Ultra League. Picking up a slightly negative lead in the first match, Venusaur into Nidoqueen. Venusaur can actually win this in the Zero Shield, but if the opponent decides to commit a shield to the Nidoqueen, I'm going to have to switch out at some point, hopefully catching a Poison Fang in the process. I do overfarm as much as I dare, and then we're going for the Frenzy Plant, hoping for it to land. It does get shielded, but we switch and we're able to catch the Poison Fang onto REGIROCK. That is fantastic. Now the opposing Nidoqueen is not switching out. Maybe they are not aware of the Earthquake. REGIROCK charging up so quickly. We get to the Earthquake. Earthquake connects. They survive on 1 HP, but they are short of an Earth Power. I can no-shield this. This is just a Poison Fang, and Nidoqueen goes down. The opponent brings in Umbreon, and the fact that they didn't bring in a counter user or a Swampert means they probably don't have either. If so, they very well could be weak in the back to REGIROCK, so I am actually going to try and switch out into Swampert. So I'm going to take the foul play here, and now we're back in with the Venusaur. Venusaur is going to be able to apply a lot of pressure with these Frenzy Plants. Frenzy Plants do hit exceedingly hard onto Umbreon, and since we have a shield advantage, I'm more than happy to shield here. That way I can get some nice overfarm on the Venusaur, farming up as much as possible before I do go for the Frenzy Plant. This will KO if they let it through, which they do, and the final Pokemon is Walrein, so it makes sense why they did not bring that into REGIROCK. We go for the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant does get shielded, and they farm down. I'm going to bring in Melmetal basically just to absorb energy. This could be the Earthquake, but it will not KO. So I am going to let that through. Earthquake does solid damage. Now we bring in REGIROCK, trying to get to the Stone Edge. Unfortunately, they're just able to get to the Icicle Spear first. I will shield the Icicle Spear, so we are able to land the Stone Edge. Stone Edge will not one-shot, but it will do some big damage on a bulky Pokemon like Walrein. The threat of a second Stone Edge forces them to throw, and from here, we're in a pretty safe spot, as we are going to be able to get to a move on Melmetal. Melmetal able to get to the Superpower. That is going to be taking out the Walrein, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Venusaur into Alolan Ninetales. Please be Charm. It's Charm, and they're staying in. This tells me that they're probably weak to Venusaur somewhere in the back as well, so preserving health on the Venusaur is going to be quite important. Alolan Ninetales shields up the Sludge Bomb, and they farm up until right before my second Sludge Bomb before they go for the Weather Ball. I will commit the shield as I want to try and preserve some health if at all possible. We are going to be going for Sludge Bomb number 2, and the opponent is double shielding, so they must be quite weak to Venusaur in the back. I am going to shield this up, and then we should be able to land the Sludge Bomb, which is going to be taking out the Alolan Ninetales. Going for the Sludge Bomb, but the opponent makes an incredible catch. They catch the Sludge Bomb onto Shadow Nidoqueen, and now it's time for REGIROCK. REGIROCK racing to the Earthquake, able to outpace the Nidoqueen, and since this is a Shadow, this Earthquake is going to be one-shotting. We'll have to see what they have in the back, and they have Scrafty. Scrafty definitely doesn't like to see Venusaur, so it definitely makes sense why they decided to stay in this particular lead. We are able to land the Earthquake. Again, Earthquake is really nice for the Nidoqueen matchup, but outside of that, if you're going up against the Dark type like Umbreon or Scrafty, REGIROCK definitely misses that Focus Blast. Now we're actually going to bring in Melmetal because one Superpower should KO the Scrafty. Scrafty going for the Power-Up Punch, and the question is this another Power-Up Punch or a foul play? It's a foul play that does big damage. They bring in the Ninetales to try and snipe, but I hold on to the energy. We bring back in Venusaur, and we're able to get to a Frenzy Plant. Now the question is, will they be able to farm us down? This is going to be very close. Venusaur does get farmed down, but Melmetal able to win CMP. Superpower will be taking out the Scrafty, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Venusaur into Wall Rain. This is definitely an awkward lead. Both of us are doing super effective damage to each other, but Venusaur just gets outpaced by Wall Rain. I do want to preserve some health, so I am going to commit the shield on the Icicle Spear, overfarm quite a bit, but the opponent makes a very nice catch of the Frenzy Plant onto Cresselia. The fact that they're switching Cresselia into a loaded Venusaur makes me think that they're probably running Future Sight, and if so, I want to try and catch it onto Melmetal. We're able to land the second Frenzy Plant, we farm up, switch, and we're able to catch onto the Melmetal, and it is the Future Sight. This is a pretty nice matchup for Melmetal, so I am more than willing to overfarm quite significantly, because if I'm able to leave with a lot of energy, then I will be able to apply a lot of pressure onto the Wall Rain. So I am going to farm up to 100 energy, and then we are going to go for the Rock Slide to take care of the Cresselia. If they bring back in the Wall Rain, which they do, they very well could be weak in the back because we have a ton of energy and we're going to be able to force some shields or do a lot of damage. Able to reach another Rock Slide. I don't really want to debuff myself yet. Second Rock Slide. This one does land and we're able to get them quite low. An Icicle Spear will not KO. I'm going to let this go. They do go for the Earthquake to take me out. I bring in Venusaur, and the final Pokemon is Talonflame. And Regirock is one of the hardest counters to Talonflame in the game. We're going for the Stone Edge. It's lagging. We do get the shield, but at this point, there's just nothing my opponent can do. We don't have to shield a thing in this matchup. They go for the Flame Charge. That is totally fine. They go for a second Flame Charge. Fine by me. Regirock eats flame charges for days. We're just going to farm all the way up right close to 100 energy, and then we're going to go for Stone Edge number 1 to take out the Talonflame, and then we're going to be able to reach Stone Edge number 2 to take out the Wall Rain. Regirock closing strong, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Venusaur into Alolan Muck. Absolutely terrible lead. I am going to save switch into Melmetal, and the opponent is not switching out. I'm going to overfarm and throw the Rock Slide on what should be CMP, and I'll take whatever they throw. They actually go for the Acid Spray, so that is a big no shield, and now I'm able to fire back with the Rock Slide. Rock Slide connects, and then they bring in Jellicent. This is definitely good to bait out the Jellicent, so my Regirock will not have to see it in the endgame. Unfortunately, due to that Acid Spray debuff, once they do throw a Shadow Ball, it's going to be more than enough to take me out, but I'm going to try and get it into farm down range for Venusaur if at all possible. Jellicent, over farming, and they do count very well. They're able to throw before I reach a third Rock Slide. Shadow Ball, of course, has taken me out, and now I'm going to go for a very aggressive farm down with Venusaur. I don't want to commit a shield because I know they have a poison type, so I am going to let this go, and instead trade health for energy, and now I have a bit of energy if they decide to bring that Alolan Muck back in, which is definitely what I'm expecting, but they bring in Mandibuzz, and suddenly it looks like Regirock can actually win us this game. We're going for the Stone Edge. Stone Edge connects and does big damage, and in comes the Alolan Muck. A Dark Pulse from Alolan Muck is going to be doing a lot more than any charge move from Mandibuzz, so this is where I'm going to use my shields. I will commit the shield, and now we're going for the Earthquake. Earthquake, we're wanting it to land, but they shield it up. And these lock-ons, I'm hoping have gotten it into Stone Edge range. So I'm going to risk it, and we're going to go for the Stone Edge. Please kill. Stone Edge just does not kill, and they're able to reach a move. That is not ideal. I am going to commit the second shield. It's an Acid Spray. I don't want to be debuffed, so we switch back into Venusaur, and we're able to take them out. Back in comes Mandibuzz, but we are pretty close to 2 Sludge Bombs, so they're going to have to throw to take me out, which they do, and from here, since we preserved health on Regirock so well, this game is over. The opponent does have a very cool shiny flex with the Mandibuzz, but Regirock is just launching Stone Edge after Stone Edge, and Mandibuzz is not going to be able to output nearly enough damage to take out Regirock. That foul play, Regirock eats those for days, able to get to another Stone Edge. Stone Edge will be taking out the Mandibuzz, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Venusaur into Talonflame. Absolutely terrible lead. I'm going to instantly save switch into the Melmetal, and the opponent matches with a Scrafty. Definitely good to bait out the counter user. My Regirock does not want to see it. And on the bright side, we have Superpower. So we're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure onto this Scrafty. Farming up as much as possible. I don't want to debuff my defense until I have to. And we actually get a shield from the Scrafty. I am 100% okay with this. Second Superpower will get them low. And from here, I'm just going to use Venusaur as a damage sponge, and then hopefully Regirock with a shield advantage will be able to close in the endgame. This will be the foul play. It's boosted, but Venusaur does have some solid bulk to it, even with my suboptimal IVs, so we're able to tank that, and now we're going for the Frenzy Plant to secure the KO. They bring in Talonflame, we bring in Regirock, and they're not switching out. And this gives me hope that whatever's in back is weak to Regirock. They're going for a move, just the Flame Charge, and the final Pokemon is Alolan Ninetales. So we are in a very comfortable spot. One Stone Edge does not KO, but we are going to be able to spam out these Stone Edges, and they're just not going to be able to charm us down in time. Going for the second Stone Edge, they let it go, and Talonflame is not going to be able to incinerate down, as Regirock is easily going to be able to reach the back-to-back Stone Edges. They shield up the first, we are going to be able to reach the second. They go for a move. At this point, I probably could have let it go, but I figured may as well be safe and get the win. Regirock able to get to that second Stone Edge, closing strong with a shield advantage, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Venusaur into Walrein. Definitely a better lead than the last few matches, but still, since they're able to do super effective damage, by no means an easy lead. I will shield up the Icicle Spear. I want to try and preserve some health if at all possible, and at some point, ideally, I would like to catch an Icicle Spear onto Melmetal. They do shield up the Frenzy Plant, and they are going to be able to outpace us here, going for Icicle Spear number 2, and I am going to commit the shield. We're able to do a decent amount of damage with the Vine Whips, which is quite nice. They should be one off of an Icicle Spear, so I'm going to throw one Vine Whip here and switch, and we're able to catch onto Melmetal. That is massive, as now they should be in a range where a single move from Melmetal KOs, and they bring in Armored Mewtwo. This is a tough matchup in the Zero Shield because Armored Mewtwo almost always runs Dynamic Punch, which will hit for massive super effective damage. This is enough. I don't have any way to defend the Melmetal. Melmetal does get hit with the Dynamic Punch, and they should be able to Confusion down afterwards. This is a little scary because I really don't want to take a Dynamic Punch on my Regirock, if at all possible. We are able to reach a last second Rock Slide, but that's not enough to take out the Armored Mewtwo. I'm going to bring in the Venusaur, I'm thinking, to hopefully force them to throw some energy, which they do, and then maybe I can go for a very aggressive lock-on down with Regirock. In comes Regirock. Come on! We are able to farm down. That's huge. They bring in the Walrein. They must be really weak to whatever's in back. We're going to be able to dispatch the Walrein with the Stone Edge. The game is lagging quite a bit. We're able to take them out. It's Talonflame in the back. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping to the final match, leading Venusaur into another Nidoqueen. We saw how this lead plays out in the first match. We're able to win the Zero Shield, but almost every Nidoqueen lead has been shielding, which is quite unfortunate. I overfarm slightly, hoping against hope that this is the one Nidoqueen who doesn't shield, but of course they do shield. Farming up, they throw just before we get to another Frenzy Plant. I'm going to shield this up, and then I'm going to switch in Regirock and race to the Earthquake, but they do switch out and they bring in Umbreon. This means that they don't have a Swampert or a counter user in the back because they would have switched it into the Regirock, so I'm hopeful that their third Pokemon, Melmetal, will have at least a neutral matchup against. The one worry that I have right now, besides obviously not having Focus Blast in this Umbreon matchup, is that Nidoqueen. I want to try and bait it back out. So I am going to try and stall the Switch Clock and then switch back into the Venusaur to try and bait back out the Nidoqueen, so that way it won't be aligned with my Melmetal in the end game. Switch Clock is coming up, we switch, and we're able to catch a move onto Venusaur. This will not KO. I'm hoping that they do bring the Nidoqueen back in, which they do. Frenzy Plant will not KO here. I'm hoping for the shield so we can kill with the EQ. We don't get the shield, and they're able to farm down. We do have a move loaded on Regirock. This is definitely Stone Edge range. We go for the Stone Edge. They commit the shield, and they're actually going to throw. Earth Power would KO here, so I am going to let it go. It is the Earth Power. I was hoping they were baiting. We bring in Melmetal, and I'm going to throw the Rock Slide just so they can't debuff me since I have no way of resetting my debuff. Rock Slide takes them out. What is that final Pokemon? It is Jellicent. I just have to hope at this point that they don't have Bubble Beam. If they don't have Bubble Beam, I think I have a chance, but I have no way of resetting my debuff. They bring in the Umbreon. I am going to throw the Rock Slide so that way I don't debuff myself, but I'm still able to take out the Umbreon. And now it's up to Melmetal versus the Jellicent. I will let the first move through. Let's see if they do have Bubble Beam. And they do. That is absolutely tragic. I will start spamming out these Rock Slides, but they're just going to be able to lower my attack further and further, making these Rock Slides do less and less damage. I'm going to let this go. My guess is they're just going straight Bubble Beam. So I'm just going to keep no shielding here because they have incentive to lower my attack 4 stages, and then they might start throwing Shadow Balls. But then the timer. Oh my goodness, I think I can win this game. All we have to do is get to a Rock Slide. We should be able to win off health remaining. We do get to the Rock Slide. This will be taking their health below ours. Time's up. We are able to get the win. Some final thoughts. I was really pleasantly surprised by Regirock. I think it's a really solid off-meta open Ultra League pick. I will say I'm not 100% sold on Earthquake. Earthquake definitely helps versus Nidoqueen, but there were a ton of matchups where I really felt myself missing Focus Blast. So Regirock I think is really solid, but between the two, I think I lean more towards Focus Blast having more viability, just because it still allows you to hit Steel types, but also helps you cover against Dark types, and Dark types are extremely common in the Open Ultra League meta at the current moment. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. And we have finally released merch. I do have a link to our merch store in the description. Definitely go check it out. We've got some great stuff in there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.